The scream tore through the jungle like a blade, sharp enough to stop my heart mid-beat. I froze on the ridge above the hidden lake, one hand on my rifle, the other clenched around a scanner that suddenly felt useless. That scream wasn't human. It carried a harmonic edge, layered tones vibrating through the air like a warning siren from another world. And it was calling for help. Below me, the lake shimmered an impossible blue, tucked away beneath towering bioluminescent trees. Steam curled off its surface, glowing faintly in the twilight. In the center of the water stood a woman, alien unmistakably so, her skin marked with faint constellations of light, her eyes wide with panic as she tried to cover herself. Her clothes were gone. They hadn't floated away. They hadn't sunk. They were simply erased. "What did this place just do to you?" I whispered. But that was only the beginning. I wasn't supposed to be here. Earth survey teams were restricted to the perimeter of Kepler 442c, cataloging flora, avoiding contact. Observe, don't interfere. That was the rule burned into every soldier-scientist hybrid they sent planetside. I had broken that rule the moment I stepped toward her. The woman staggered through the shallow water, slipping on smooth stone, her voice rising again in fear. She wasn't screaming in pain. She was screaming because something unseen was still hunting her. I scanned the shoreline. Nothing. No heat signatures. No cloaked predators. And yet the air felt wrong. I activated my cloak and slid down the ridge, heart pounding. As I reached the lake's edge, she looked straight at me, through my stealth field. Her gaze locked onto mine as if the technology didn't exist. "You," she gasped in broken galactic standard. "You can see me. That means you're real." Before I could answer, the water behind her rippled unnaturally. What I saw next changed everything. A wave of distortion surged across the lake like a breath being drawn. The scanner screamed. Energy readings spiked off the chart, quantum disassembly fields, the kind only rumored in classified alien archives. The same force that had erased her clothing was still active. I didn't think. I ran. I threw my jacket around her shoulders and pulled her out of the water just as the lake's surface collapsed inward, swallowing itself into a silent vortex. Stone cracked. Steam vanished. The lake ceased to exist. We lay on the forest floor, gasping, the scent of ozone thick in the air. She clutched the jacket like it was a lifeline, her glowing skin dimming as shock set in. "They said the lake was sacred," she whispered. "A place of renewal. They didn't say it would judge me." "Who is they?" I asked. Her eyes filled with something far heavier than fear. "My people," she said. "And now, I have failed them." None of us were prepared for the truth. Her name was Essa Lin, a bioengineer from the Aurelian Collective, an advanced civilization rumored to have mapped human DNA centuries before we ever reached the stars. She had come to the lake as part of a rite, a test of worthiness tied to her species' bond with living worlds. The lake wasn't water. It was a planetary intelligence, and it had rejected her. As we moved through the jungle, she explained in halting words that the lake stripped away anything false, anything worn to hide intent. For her people, clothing carried encoded social hierarchies, genetic pride, political allegiance. The lake erased it all. But it hadn't stopped there. "It tried to unmake me," she said quietly, "as if I didn't belong on this world anymore." Every few steps, she glanced back, expecting the ground itself to rise against her. I couldn't blame her. My instruments were still going haywire, as if the planet was watching us walk away. I escorted her toward my extraction point, planning to break every protocol if it meant getting her off-world alive. But the deeper we went, the more the jungle shifted. Paths rearranged. Familiar landmarks vanished. We were being herded. Why would the planet do that? I muttered. Dylan hesitated. "Because it knows you shouldn't be here either." That was when my comm crackled to life. "Lieutenant Mark Hale," command said. "Your vitals just spiked. Step away from the alien immediately." I stopped cold. They had been watching the whole time. "You knew about the lake," I said. "You knew it was sentient." A pause. "Too long." "That world intelligence is an asset," command replied. "A filter. It identifies incompatible life forms. We were waiting to see what it would do to her." My grip tightened on the rifle. "You used her as bait," I whispered. "And you," command added, "as a control." That was the moment everything snapped into focus. The mid-story truth hit like a meteor. Earth wasn't just observing alien worlds anymore. We were testing them, probing planetary minds, looking for weapons disguised as ecosystems. The lake wasn't sacred. It was a prototype, and Iselin was never meant to survive it. I shut off the comm. Iselin looked at me, reading the answer in my silence. They planned this, she said. Not a question. A realization. I won't let them finish it, I said. But saying it was easier than believing it. The jungle closed in as drones descended from the canopy, their sleek forms bearing Earth insignia. A containment field dropped around us, humming with lethal efficiency. Step aside, Lieutenant, command ordered. The alien is to be retrieved. Or terminated. Ellen's hand trembled in mine. Her skin flickered, patterns flaring bright as her fear turned to resolve. If they take me, she said softly, they will learn how to unmake worlds. I met her gaze. In that moment, alien logic and human emotion collided, and something new was forged between them. I raised my rifle. What happened next would brand me a traitor forever. I fired not at the drones but at the field generator. The shot destabilized it just long enough for Iselin to act. She pressed her palm to the ground, whispering in a language older than spaceflight. The planet answered. Roots burst from the soil, luminous and alive, tearing drones from the air. The ground heaved as if waking from a long sleep. The jungle wasn't attacking, it was defending. But the strain was killing her. She's overloading. Command shouted through the static. She's not compatible, she'll burn out. Iselin screamed. Light pouring from her markings as the world poured itself through her. I caught her as she collapsed, her glow fading fast. Listen to me, I said, voice breaking. You belong here. You're not false. You're not unworthy. Her eyes fluttered. The lake didn't reject me, she murmured. It rejected what my people have become. The planet stilled. The jungle exhaled. And then the ground beneath us cracked open, revealing a core of radiant energy. The heart of the world mind. It wasn't a weapon. It was a guardian choosing who could shape the future. Chose her. And it chose me. We woke days later aboard an Aurelian vessel, hidden beyond Earth's sensor range. Iselin survived, changed but alive. The planetary intelligence had bonded with her, not as a master, but as a partner. Earth's command never found us. The galaxy did. News spread of a human who defied his own species to save another. Of an alien woman who turned a living world away from becoming a weapon. Alliances shifted. Treaties rewritten. And deep beneath that jungle, a hidden lake slowly reformed. Waiting, watching, no longer silent. Sometimes when I think back to that first scream, I realize it wasn't a cry of fear. It was the sound of a world asking who we truly were. And for the first time in our history, humanity answered by choosing to help.